Yo, what's up, world? This is your boy, Derrick. Welcome back to the African Effect here with
Natalie. This is episode 2.
Episode 2, y'all.
Episode 2. So episode 1 was really dope. We kind of talked a little bit about dating, etc. If you haven't listened to episode 1, go listen to it.
Please do.
Yeah, and we got a lot of really good feedback. And so one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I got was that people wanted us to go a little bit deeper into dating and what Africans are looking for and like the things around dating. And so one of the listeners that reached out to me, this actually stuck out to me, so I thought that I would bring it up. And she said that she wanted to talk about why African men are so damn picky. And she was like, it has led to African women getting married later or getting into serious relationships a lot later than we normally would. Because African men are too damn picky. And I responded to her and I was like, I agree with you. Because African men are very picky. And I don't know, I have absolutely no idea why. Why are African men so picky? Why are they making it so hard for African women in the dating world to get into serious relationships?
Okay, so help me understand this. Why did you agree?
I agreed because of my own experience. I think that African men...
Okay, speak on that.
Yeah, African men, number one, tend to, at least the ones that are here, right? The ones, I'm talking about like American born. They tend not to know who they really are. So they tap into their culture when it's convenient for them. And then they don't when it's not. So when they tap into their culture, they say they want a woman that can cook and they want a woman that can serve and they want a woman that can, wash their feet. They want a woman that can, hold her own and do pretty much wear all of the hats that women wear. And they want that traditional homely woman, but then they also tap into like the progressive side and they say, but I want her to be a boss and I want her to make money and I want her to do this and do that. It's not realistic. And they're super picky.
Wow. So it's a crime to want a woman, a traditional woman, a domesticated woman, right? Who's educated, right? Because that tells us that you may have some type of logic. You're logical in some form or fashion. It's a crime for us to want that.
No, I never said that.
So how does that make us picky then?
Because I think that they're like what we talked about on the first episode, that there are extremely high standards. You said yourself that African men have of African women, that there's a certain standard that African women should reach because that's what we were raised on. That's what our mothers exhibited. That's just what we know culturally.
That's not a high standard.
It's a high standard compared to other people because you don't have that same...
We don't care about other people.
No, but I'm saying you don't have that same standard when you date outside of the African culture, do you?
So here's the problem.
No, do you? Do you have that standard for maybe an African American woman or a Hispanic woman or some other woman?
Yes.
That you have of African women?
Yes.
But you said before that you didn't.
Okay, so those standards is all across the board when it's just dating women in general. But here's the thing. From our perspective, African women know better. Because you want to know why? You were raised that way. If we want to talk about other cultures like African American cultures, how often do you know that they are grown, like they have a complete household that they grew up in and they were taught those things?
Well, not all African households are the same. So there are some households where women maybe were not taught that.
Okay, yo bad.
See, that's what I'm saying is why haven't we gotten to a place where we can say, okay, not all fingers are equal length, right? So not everyone has had exposure to this, and this woman might not have exposure to this. She might not have experience here, even though she's an African.
Like what?
Cooking. I know a lot of women.
She's not an option. I'm sorry, You're not an option. Ladies, if you don't know how to cook, I promise you're not going to be an option. You're going to be at the very bottom of the list.
Even if she embodies everything else that you're looking for.
Like what?
No, like, even if she embodies everything else that you may be looking for, and her cooking, she just can't cook.
Yeah. You're not an option. You're going to lose. Because you want to know why? Us African men, we like our traditional food. We like home cooked meals.
Right, but can't she learn how to cook?
Who gonna teach her?
No, I'm saying, but what about her mom or a woman in her family or something?
Bro,
Can't they
stop
teach her how
that
to
nonsense, man. You like in your 30s, late 20s. You're not about to learn how to cook.
I
No,
know
you're
a
not.
lot of women that have learned how to cook basic African food. Once they realized that they had to do it, they
listen,
learned.
if you can't cook at the age of 30, ain't no man gonna really want you. He's not. Because I guarantee you what's gonna happen is your homegirl or a girl that you mutual friends that you possibly know, she gonna cook for that nigga. And you know what's gonna happen? He's gonna eat.
He's gonna eat, but there are other things that he's looking for. So she might be able to cook, but she might not have anything else.
If he settles for that, I guarantee you, he's gonna get it from somewhere else.
Well, I can tell you right now that there are a lot of African men that have married African women that don't know how to cook, and they seem happy. They might be a little skinny though.
I guarantee you, someone is cooking for him.
His mom.
And you're comfortable with that.
I mean, if I'm working 12 hours a day, I don't really care.
Why are you working 12 hours a day?
Exactly. Why am I working 12 hours a day?
We don't care.
It's not about whether you care. It's about whether you can sustain the lifestyle that African men want to project. So African men want to project that they got it like that. That's what you see when you get on Instagram. That's what you see when you go out to the hookah lounges or wherever you go. These African men, they'll go to the car lot. They'll rent a car.
Okay, hold on. Let me stop you. Time out.
Pull up.
Time out. What you're telling me is that these guys are flaunting off of your dime?
No, didn't let me finish. So what I was saying was, what you're used to is seeing Africans in general, but African men too, living a flamboyant lifestyle. They project a flamboyant lifestyle. How do you sustain that? You got to work. You got to make money. I don't know of any. There might be a few, but I don't know of too many African men in 2021 that would say that they are okay with their wife not working.
And how did you come to that conclusion?
No, I just said that I don't.
And I'm talking about you. How did Natalie come to that conclusion?
Experience. And what I've seen and people that I've talked to. Everyone is saying what you hear now is, I would like for my wife in a perfect world to not have to work, but things are expensive.
This is true.
We want to have children, more than one. Children are expensive. We want to buy a home. Look at the housing situation right now. It's just not sustainable on one income. Okay. So she needs to work.
Okay.
Right? So you want a woman to work this day and age, because if we're talking about our parents and our parents' parents, our grandparents back then, the way that the structure was the man went to work and the woman took care of home, or she went to the farm, or she went to the market or something like that. Now it's like you want a woman to do all of these domestic things, which I don't necessarily disagree with, but you also want her to work or you need her to work a 9 to 5. Or if she's some sort of executive in the corporate world.
Need or want?
That's what I just said. You need or you want her to work a 9 to 5, whatever it is, or you need her to have a job. So how realistic is it that a woman is able to juggle all of those things when our parents or our parents' parents didn't have to?
So the reason why our parents or our parents' parents didn't have to do those things was because back then shit was a lot fucking cheap.
Exactly. So shouldn't there be some grace now?
So we don't care. Fuck grace. I don't care. Nobody cares about grace. So listen, we don't care for women who have 3 to 5 degrees. We don't care about all those things. We don't. It's nice to be with a woman who has a job, who is educated. It's cool. Those are bonuses. Those are things we don't care about. So if I get first of all, if I get with a woman that I need her to work, I'm lacking And you shouldn't even be entertaining that type of man. And if you are, you a fool. You're bad.
How many men are in the position, if we're talking about just Africans, to where they can sustain an entire household with multiple children?
First of all, we African, we hustle. African men in general hustle. Yeah, African men in general hustle. We typically have more than one job. We dibble and dabble in a lot of things. Huh?
You want to work like that for the rest of your life, where you working?
That's my job. I'm supposed to take care of my household.
Yeah, I understand you're supposed to take care of your household, but at what expense, though?
So you listen. It's my job to provide for the household, to take care of the household, to nurture the household, to lead the household, guide the household, all of those things, financially and all of those things. For me to rely on one income, right? If I can't sustain that by myself, where there's no fucking reason I should be getting married to this individual, because you know what you become? You become a liability for me, because you're going to have needs, wants, you're going to want things, right? And if I can't afford those things, what's the point of me as a man, from a male perspective? Why would I entertain a woman who's needy financially? I wouldn't. I would not.
That kind of is contradictory.
To what?
So you're saying, why would you entertain a woman who's needy financially, right? But you don't necessarily think that a woman should work when she gets married?
No. So if I'm a logical individual and I know that I can't support her financially, I'm not going to entertain this individual.
So what happens if you get sick and you can't work?
Then I get sick, I can't work.
What happens to your family?
Do you have a job?
No. I'm asking you because I want to paint the picture from the brushes that you gave me.
Okay.
So, what happens if you get sick and you can't provide for your family and your wife has been out of the workforce for, I don't know, 10 years?
Unemployment until I get healthy.
What if you don't get healthy?
So we live in the U.S. Where we have governmental support.
Do you know how much government support you would get? Do you think that it would be enough to where you got?
I'm not saying that it'd be enough. But,
so that's what I'm trying
to say.
Hold
on, time out. Let me finish. We do have government support, but how often do you find Africans engaging in that? Then on top of that, we are family oriented. Africans in general, they help out each other. And so if I'm married to an individual who's logical as well, and she's got my back and she understands that my man is not able to work. So here come now, as a man, now, how do we get this money? We have to figure out some source of income together. I don't have to go out there and go bust my ass or go to work at a warehouse or whatever to make ends meet. There's something we have to figure out together to make sure that our household is covered.
Yeah, all I hear when you say that is a whole bunch of ego and nonsense. So I think that what you fail to understand, and I think that this is what a lot of African men that embody this way of thinking is, when you marry someone, you guys are a team. This is where I'm coming from. So the reason why you don't see a lot of Africans on government assistance, etc., is because the woman is working. So if the man, for some reason, I'm serious. If the man, for some reason,
so you mean to tell me African American women aren't working either? So okay. So you're saying the reason why African people in general don't get government assistance is because the African woman is working.
We're talking about in the case of a man getting sick and not being able to provide for his family. You said government assistance.
Okay.
And you said why aren't Africans on government assistance? Why don't you see a lot of them on government assistance? It's because there's a woman in their life that has been working.
So that's why I also stated it's highly important for us to have multiple incomes.
Yeah, but if I go back to what you originally said, you said the woman you said a man should not get married if if he needs a woman's support, if he needs her money. So when you talk about needing, that's why I said it's ego. When a man says, I don't need your money, that doesn't necessarily mean that a woman working her money is not a necessity to the household. even if you're not using it, it could be put in savings. Even if you're not like using it every day to pay bills, you could use it towards other things. But I think that like saying, oh, all of your degrees and your job or whatever, that shit doesn't matter. It actually does, because when push comes to shove, that's the shit that you're going to need to sustain your household. So you can't assume that you're going to be healthy all the time. You can't assume that your job is not going to drop you like a bad habit. You can't assume that you're going to have money to start up a business. So I think that we need to give a little bit more credit to these women that are busting their ass, going to school and getting these degrees, and actually see it as valuable, because it is.
Fuck no.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. Hell no. You wanna know why? Because those women, the doctors, the African doctors or the African nurse, like y'all got this fucking big head where you seem to think like, oh my God, I've made it. Like you can't tell me nothing. And like those typical women are fucking annoying. That's why we're so goddamn picky, because you guys want all of this fucking credit. That's what the point that I was trying to make is, if I'm in a position where I have to have her income to sustain this household, there's a problem. Generally, African men are hustlers. They have multiple sources of income. So if I'm entertaining someone where I know her lifestyle is high maintenance, and then on top of that, we're talking about a family, I can't sustain that by myself. I need her income. That's why I'm saying if you're going to entertain someone like that, there's something wrong with you as a man.
No, I'm not even talking about a high maintenance woman. I'm just talking about a woman in general, just having a family. I have a child, you have children, they're expensive. So that's not what we're talking about. We're not just talking about just high maintenance. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just in general, I think that there needs to be, and I will say it again, and I mean what I'm saying, there needs to be a little bit more value given to women that hustle as well. There needs to be a little bit more value given to women that go to school so that they can get a decent job, and they can get a job to where they're living comfortably on their own, or they can get a job to where they are assisting and supporting their household in whatever that looks like. I think that there needs to be a little bit more value given to that, because you might see Janet over here who worked her butt off to get a good job and went to school and she's doing her thing. And then you see Margaret over there who, well, you know, she's not high maintenance. She's a little bit low maintenance, but she doesn't really work or whatever. And she's considered to be more humble by the African man, because she's not showcasing her degrees or talking about her job all the time. And then you get sick and you can't work anymore. You don't have multiple streams of income coming in anymore because you can't work. You can't do what you need to do. Janet looks a whole lot much better because she's able to step up and say, you know what, baby? Okay, you've been taking care of the family all these years. I know you can't. Let me just keep on doing what I'm doing. Let's pull money from my savings that I've been saving. Let me go ahead and go to work. Let me go ahead and pull some extra shifts. You can't do that with Margaret that ain't got no job. So just because somebody has degrees and just because somebody went to school doesn't mean that they're not humble. I'm humble.
Bro, listen to you, dog. You don't sound humble at all. But look, we don't care. We don't care. We don't. We do not care, because those typical women, they are a turnoff to us. Because you put too much fucking value in yourself as far as like working and shit. We don't fucking care.
You don't put too much value into it. That's the beauty of being a woman. We're able to juggle multiple things. We put value. Yeah, we put value in that. We worked hard for it. So we're not out here telling you, oh, you have to respect me because I'm a lawyer. Oh, you have to call me doctor, whatever. No. But when push comes to shove, even if we want to take it back to biblical, God sent Adam a helpmate. So ladies, I'm not out here saying that you have to, provide 50-50 in your household, because I definitely don't believe you should do that. But I definitely think that if you have worked hard,
you should provide 50-50, but hey,
but I think that if you've worked hard, you've gotten your degree or degrees, and anyone out there makes you feel like you're not humble enough or like you should tone yourself down because of that, fuck them.
Ladies, I guarantee you, man. Listen, if you listen to that, I promise you, you are going to be unhappy in your marriage, in your relationship, or whatever it is that you're entertaining. You're going to be unhappy because you want to know why? Because us as men in general, we don't care about that, man. We don't. We do not. But hey, to each his own. I mean, there are some men out there who, who require a woman to have a job. Excuse me, but
No, and then there are just some men out there who can appreciate a hardworking woman.
yes, we can.
They can say, you know what? Yeah, you worked hard and you did what you're supposed to do, and I can provide for the family too. But I'm not going to expect you to dim your light just because of my ego.
Okay, how does that make us picky though? I don't understand.
I didn't say that makes you picky.
Okay, so the
I
general
asked
topic
why.
was, you said, why are men
Yes, why are
African men picky?
so picky? I asked the question. I didn't say that was why. I asked the question.
What are other things that make them picky?
I don't know. I'm not an African man.
No, you're the one dating the African men. So you said based off of experience, you have experiences that indicate that African men are picky. So what experience happened or what occurred that made you feel like he was being picky towards you or didn't pick you?
Not necessarily just me. I'm just saying that from what I can see or what you hear African men that are just, no, I'm not going to talk to her. I'm not going to, it could be.
Because of what?
I honestly don't. Or what I mentioned was the cooking thing, right? Because they don't know how to cook. So as an African man, you said, you damn right we picky. So why don't you say why you feel like that?
What man doesn't want a woman who can cook?
We've already been through that. I'm just giving you an example of what I'm saying when I say African men are picky.
And that makes us picky because we want a woman who can cook. We have the right to want that.
I am asking you, I'm literally asking you as an African man, because you said, damn right, we're picky.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm asking you, why?
Because it's slim fucking pickings out here.
Why?
Because there's a lot of women out here who can't cook. There's a lot of women out here with degrees who don't bring anything else to the table, who don't exude the ability to be a mother. They just don't. They don't have those qualities. Y'all have this attitude of this, I made it and I'm just like this boss bitch, and we don't care. What matters to us is, dude, when I come home, is the house in order? Are the kids good? Are you good? Is there anything that I need to do for you to make sure you're good, to sustain what it is that you're doing for the household and outside?
What do you look for in the woman? What do you look for in the woman as far as her personality and her character? Let's talk about that. Let's not talk about the household.
Personality wise, is she dope? Can I have a conversation with this individual and she doesn't start crying or start whining about whatever it is that, can I joke
that's
with
bothering
you?
her?
So
she doesn't start crying about what's bothering her.
No. Listen. There's some out there that are over dramatic and they cry about everything, and that shit is mentally exhausting. I'm sorry. Ain't no brother got time for that. We don't. You better find you a beta male, because ain't none of these alpha males out here gonna put up with that. Other things. Can she cook? Is she family oriented?
Mm-hmm.
Is her family solid? If we were to ever get into a major disagreement or whatever, does she come from a family where they're gonna just pick her side rather than look for a resolution?
Okay.
Is she educated? Cool. That tells us she might be logical. She's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Can I trust you?
Mm-hmm.
Can I have deep conversations with you? Things that happened to me when I was 5, 6, 7 that I haven't told anybody else. Are we compatible sexually? There's so many things, and it varies from man to man.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it's important for us as men to be picky, because you want to know why? There's a lot of women out here who just ain't got that. They don't, because they are too busy trying to embody this American way. this thought process of, oh, I'm this boss bitch. Like, I guarantee you, African men don't care. We don't. Like, I've dated chicks in the past where we were having a conversation the entire time. All she did was talk about her degree and what she does at work. I don't fucking care. I don't.
She was African.
Yes. Mm-hmm. We don't care.
Okay, I think that it's fair to say that African men are picky. I think that it's fair to say that from what you said, it's necessary for them to be picky, and it's also necessary for African women to be picky.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with being picky.
Because
here's the problem. If we're not picky, right, then we start to settle. For example, like the girl that you were talking about the last time. She felt pressured to get married because of her family. If she doesn't tap into the things that she wants and she needs and desires, and she settles because he's the best option, you are going to be miserable for the rest of your life. Or it's going to lead to divorce. And that's a whole nother conversation we're going to have.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that it's important for everybody to be picky and to know exactly what you want and why you want it. I think that what I was saying, like what I said at the beginning, is you have to be able to reciprocate what it is that you are asking for.
Yes.
So if you are, and that's what I said. But if you are asking for a woman or a man as a woman to give you all of these things, you have to be able to reciprocate them.
Right.
And what I have experienced in the African community is that a lot of these men have these expectations of women. They're super picky. And then when you pull apart the layers, they ain't shit.
Walk away.
I'm not looking for a solution. I'm just saying that that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. Like, that's what she mentioned. The listener told me, she was like, you see a lot of African men that tap into that culture when it's convenient. They want this, they want this, they want that. Right. And then when you ask them to do certain things that align with the culture, it's like, oh, they just can't do it or whatever, or they're incapable.
So give me
or
something
whatever.
that aligns with the culture that women or you've asked for and you just didn't get.
No, there's nothing that I've asked for that I didn't get. Boom.
Guys, y'all hear this? Like,
okay.
I like Kevin Samuels would say, like, you can't make this shit up.
There's nothing that I've asked for that I didn't get. Do you know something I asked for that I didn't get? Huh?
My brothers, man. Listen, it's hard
What's
out here.
What's wrong with me
man.
saying that?
It's hard out here.
I don't understand. I think a lot of the reason why men have the problems, African men have problems with African women, is because you see, just like it is in the African American community.
Man, you women stuck up, man. Y'all are stuck up.
I think that it's the people that you choose, the people that you choose to date. You might like the high maintenance and pounds of makeup in the 95-degree weather and the high heels and stuff. That may be what you're attracted to. The women that walk around in heels all the time. Yeah, that's going to be a stuck-up chick.
That's not what I'm attracted to, so.
Well, I mean, hey, some people are attracted to that, and that's what, if you look at, like, their history, that's what they date, and then they talk about how they don't like stuck-up women. But you go for those women.
So those stuck-up women, they're only good for sex. You're only good for entertainment.
But I'm saying, you can't like those kinds of women, go up to those kinds of women, want to talk to them and entertain them, and then complain about how all you find are stuck-up women. You can't do that.
Okay, so I see what you're trying to say. Yes, I agree. Yes, you can't go looking for high maintenance women, and then when they don't have the qualities of, what was her name, Grace or whatever you said.
I know you didn't say Grace.
I'm just saying, I get it. Yes, and vice versa. You can't be walking around or going to these hookah lounges, dating or trying to entertain these men who are matching head to toe to get like.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little Versace head to toe.
All right, go out get you an old African sugar daddy.
Hey, where y'all at? But I think another thing that we have seen, or at least that I've heard a lot of the time, is there's a big difference between Africans as far as it relates to dating that are American born and African born. And when I say African born, I mean they were born and raised there. Not like they came here when they were 5. Born and raised there. Their mentality.
I'm glad you're talking about that because that's something I want to touch on.
Yeah. The mentality of African, I know personally, and I can speak on if you ask me questions. I've had a better experience dating African born and raised men than American born and raised African, or Africans that were born and raised here in America. I've had a better experience with Africans that were born and raised in Africa.
Right, because they typically are more well-rounded and have a assurance of themselves. Like they know who they are as men typically, versus those that are raised here. Yes, like you looking at me like, hello.
Because
like,
that's the point that that's a very first point
listen
that
to
I
me.
made.
But listen to me, because you were speaking as if like all of those that were born here, like act the way that you're talking about. They all don't.
I didn't. I have never said all, because you can't say all. I can only say in my experience, and you said no. But you know, there's a big difference between, and that's why I was saying that, because I was saying that some of the men, African men that were born here and raised here, that's why I was talking about using your culture when it's convenient, tapping into it when it's convenient.
Get more in depth with that for me.
So
okay, so talk to me about the one that was born in Africa and, homegrown.
Yeah, the men that are born in Africa that have their papers. So they're not looking to get with you for anything other.
Mm-hmm.
They are seemingly more, like you said, more sure of themselves and more sure of what they want. So if they want to date you, if they want to be with you, they're going to tell you. A lot of women find that kind of off-putting. They're like, dang, he's putting a full court press on already. No, they know what they want. And they're going to tell you that this is what I want.
Why do y'all have a problem with that?
And they're going to tell you that this is what I want. That's what they're going to say. American born, they're going to play with you for the most part. I'm talking about my experience. They're going to play with you. They're going to be like, I'm not sure. I don't know. I want this today. I don't want that tomorrow, because they don't know who they are yet. They haven't figured out who they are. They're not confident in themselves yet. So they're going to do that back and forth with you. That has been my experience.
Okay, so based off of your experience and what you just said, give me a scenario or situation or experience that you had. I just want understanding. I want clarity, not just for myself, but also for the men and the other people listening. For those men that you've entertained, right, that are American born, but they're African, right? Give me a situation or scenario where you felt like this individual was not sure of himself. He didn't know what he wanted.
Okay.
Tell me the things that display that he wasn't sure of himself as a man.
There was a lot of, as it related to his career, right? That's number one. There was a lot of issues of confidence, which is normal. A lot of people kind of have issues of confidence as it relates to their career. There's like that constant having to reassure that there was to reassure him and let him know that he's capable, etc. Right? And then with me at least, the like emotional push and pull. So it's like you want to get married. That's what you want to do. And granted, I was younger, so I wasn't really thinking like that.
At what age was this?
I'm not about to tell on myself.
No, just give me an age range.
To know.
Like 20 to 23?
Between 23 and 25. That's a
23, 25.
22, 25.
And he was about the same age range?
No, he was like 32.
Okay.
So he's a lot older. Because I don't... And so there was like that back and forth, because it's like he wanted to get married to check off the box with the culture, right? But then it was like he really just wanted a little bit more time to date and get to know me or whatever. And then I was like, okay, that's fine. We can just date and get to know each other. I'm not even thinking about marriage right now, right? And then like the next week, it's like, why aren't you doing all of these things?
Like what?
Like cooking and cleaning and, do you want to meet my mom? Do you want to do all? I'm like, hold on. I thought you said you just wanted to date and get to know one another. Yeah. Well, my mom is talking about marriage and this and that. I'm like, you got to know what you want. It's either you do or you don't.
Okay, so one red flag, his mom's in his ear.
But I'm just, you
Go
asked
ahead.
me just for the
Yeah,
examples.
go ahead.
That's it.
I just want to highlight some things as you go.
Yeah, so that's an example. You asked me to give you a scenario, so that's a scenario.
And y'all were just dating, or were y'all in a relationship?
No, we were just dating. I don't do relationships.
How long were y'all dating for?
Maybe like 6 months.
How long did it take for you to figure out that was his problem?
3 months. When I actually started to pay attention.
Interesting.
What? It didn't take any time off of my clock, and we weren't in a relationship. We were just dating, so why would I?
So it was more like a situationship.
No, we were dating. That's not a situation.
Why were you dating?
It was something to do. I was 22 years old. Like, are you serious? Like, I'm not like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Until you can give me like a situation where you were serious about a relationship, you yourself wanted a serious relationship and was looking for those qualities in that individual, that situation don't fucking matter. Because you wanna know why? You were playing just as well. It was just something to do. So you can't use this guy as something to gauge or like you can't.
Okay.
Give me something that has substance, because that didn't. That situation did not between you two. Neither one of you wanted anything serious. And you wasted 6 months.
I didn't waste 6 months.
Next. Give me something else. Please, Natalie. The audience is listening.
No, the audience is not listening.
Because listen, what you're talking about, that situation right there, you know it. That situation doesn't matter because
nigga, I am not here for you to tell me what I did or didn't do wrong. I just need you to analyze the situation.
And
you
I just analyzed it for you.
But what the fuck does him not being sure of himself have to do with me? It ain't got nothing to do with whether or not I'm taking the situation serious. It's about him not being sure of himself.
What makes you think he couldn't tell that you weren't serious either?
Because I play well. So he thought I was.
And with that, it's a wrap.
You're about to piss me off.
Listen, what you talking about is trash, bro. It's trash. It's poochie.
All right, man. You know what? Y'all just stay tuned for episode 3 because I'm not about to be.
We're
not.
Bye.
We're
gonna pick back.
Bye.
Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
Till next time.
Bye.